Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel, Cooking for the Family. I'm going to share with you how I love to make my refried beans that come out so flavorful in my crock pot. And I'll share with you my tip on how I make my beans creamy and tender. So I have 4 cups of beans. I have my onion, garlic, some table salt, and of course my water. And so we're going to be making beans 2 different kind of ways by using our slow cook. I've washed my beans, rinsed them well, went through them and made sure I removed any kind of little pebbles. Then I split my garlic in half, and I also use a handful of onion. You can use white onion or either yellow onion, and I'm using a cup of onion. And I cut my onion the size of a quarter, no larger than that. And then with the water, I use 12 cups of water, which is the equivalent of 3 quarts of water. I'm going to set my beans to high, and I'm going to be cooking them for 5 hours. It's going to take anywhere from 4 to 5 hours, and I like to check them at the 4-hour mark. So our beans have been simmering away. They are looking really good, and you see how nicely they have just cooked up. And you see I still have time on my timer as well. My beans were nice and tender, so I went ahead and turned them off. Now I'm going to add seasoning. I did not add any kind of salt or any kind of seasoning to the beans when I first put them in to cook. In order to have a nice tender bean, I found that seasoning the beans after they cook and not beforehand yields a more tender bean. And this is 4 cups of dry beans that I have cooked up. Now I'm going to split half the beans and put them in my bowl here. Once the beans are cool, then I'm going to transfer them into a container where I can go ahead and put them in my freezer. And then I have my frijoles de la olla. For my refried beans, I like to reserve 1 to 2 cups of the cooking liquid. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my potato masher. I go in there and I press really hard and firm. Now when it comes to how smashed you want your beans, that is going to be based on your personal preference. I like to smash up about 70% of my beans, leaving the rest whole. Something else that I like to do is to make sure that they're nice and creamy. I mix them around using my potato masher, and I'm also doing this while my beans are still hot. I find that it helps the bean to be much creamier. I give them a taste and season them up to my liking. As my beans cool, they will also thicken up, and that reserved liquid will come in handy if you want to thin out your beans. And for spicy beans, you can add 1 chopped and seeded jalapeno pepper when you add in your onion. That was beans 2 different ways by using my crock pot. Check out my link on how I make my Spanish rice and my traditional beans on the stovetop. Like, share, and subscribe for more.